top of the hour. We're going to get started. My name is Joe Sordi of Strategic Security, and thank you all for attending. Now, I look around the room, and I can tell. I see a bunch of irrational people. A totally big group of a bunch of irrational people. And the reason why I can say that is because it takes one to know one. We're the type of people that the hurricane, the waters are coming over the bridge, the fire is burning, and you're running into it. You have to be out of your mind. So, like other people that work for us now, Don Gossage over at our booth, 14 years over at FEMA, 70 natural disasters he responded to nationwide, currently now works with us over at our booth, or our other staff that have responded to over 30 presidential disaster declarations throughout the United States, from Alaska to Hawaii to Florida to Maine to New Mexico and everywhere in between. These are the type of men and women that are comprised right here and that comprise our corporation. I say irrational because you have to be out of your mind to be an emergency manager or to be a first responder. You have to be completely out of your mind. 99% of the time, you're doing great work. You're doing God's work. Every day, you're punching in, leading your team, leading your staff, and everything is going great. And then that 1% of the time happens. The disaster strikes. Now all of a sudden, what happens? You have the Monday morning quarterbacks. You have everybody second guessing you. You have people that stood by you, just having coffee with you, now looking to put a knife in your back because they see an opportunity for your job. This is the world that we live in. This is why I say we have to be out of our mind to be emergency managers. So why do you do it? Why? What is your why? What is your why? Well, I can tell you from a very, very selfish perspective what my why is. Probably the reason why I entered law enforcement, retired from that, and kept serving is primarily because of that savior complex that we all have. We want to help people. We want to save the world. Money, a house, cars, vacations, even loved ones. From my own perspective, and I think many people sitting here in this room, pales in comparison to what it feels like when you pull somebody from rubble, when you save somebody off a building that's flooded and they have no way out. This type of stuff is the reason why we do it. Or when you're walking into a disaster recovery center, and it could be very simple as greeting somebody that comes in with a smile, giving them a warm blanket, maybe even saying a prayer with them, and putting your arms around them and letting them know that it's okay, that there are better days ahead, and that you're there to help. So that's why I believe everybody in this room has a calling, has a duty to serve something that's greater than yourself. It's something I see in each and every person. I see it's in your character, it's in your DNA. So I'm here today to help you, each and every one of you, ensure that you could do just that, and you could continue to serve in that fashion. So let's get after it. As I said, we responded nationwide. Alaska to New York, all in between, Florida, Mexico. Our ability to respond, 22 hours and a half from time of award, 39 hours and a half, 60 hours and a half, 41 hours and a half. So we're there in under, most of the time, 3 days when this is needed. And how has this happened? This happens a lot of times when we establish pre-positioned contracts. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So some of the major grievances we hear from constituents, those are constituents that obviously are going to be that are going to fill your elected official seats, that are going to try and remove you from office for doing that bad job as a Monday morning quarterback. So we hear inadequate response time. No, I don't see anybody. Nobody's been around. We hear when, where, how. Where's the centers opening? Where's my support? When am I getting cold running water? Lack of food and water. The utilities. When's everything coming on? The big thing that we don't think about is the inner city communities, the impoverished people. We're in the hills of North Carolina. We're in the hills of West Virginia. Those people do not have bank accounts. They operate off debit cards. They withdraw money from there. So they are a cash basis community. So how are they buying their basic essentials if you don't have a vehicle to help them out? These are things that we think of and we look to put into place. And lack of shelters and transportation. How do I get from point A to point B? Can I go to work? I want to go to work. I need to support my family. Can I get down that road or not? Some of the lessons that we learned as an emergency contract, fact versus rumor. The rumors kill you. They kill you. And they are the biggest thing that's detrimental to the security of your job, is the rumor mill. So let's get the facts out there. And how do we get the facts out there? Giving them the facts for the logic. If you're a first responder and you're looking to come in to help out, where are the first responders staying? Because chances are all the local lodging is already filled up. So what do you do there? Then where is the lodging for the impacted persons, the survivors? Where are they going? Communications. How are you getting out communications? We live in a digital age. I look around this room, 50-50. I see people that are my age, I see people that are younger. Well, it's all about the cell phone. It's all about those apps and communicating. We have to get with the technology. We have to put things out on social media. We have to get bands and groups and talk rounds and put them out on Facebook, Twitter, all these sort of things to communicate. Because a lot of times the cell phone reception will be down, but you'll be able to get a hotspot someplace and you'll be able to see. So you have to put out your daily briefings. Like it or not, Governor Cuomo from New York, we can take a lesson from him during COVID. Whatever your personal feelings are, whatever mine are to the side. He did a great job establishing every day at, I believe it was 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, or 7 o'clock, he gave a briefing. Where we are, what we're doing, what's the plan for tomorrow. That's what everybody wants. If you give that, there's nothing that anybody can take away from you on your job description, because that's exactly what they want. They want that level of communication. They just want to be in the know. How does this all impact me and my agency? Very easy. There's 4 things. 4 on how it impacts you and your agency and your job description and your ability for job sustainability. 4 things. 1, you need to understand the federal state process. You need to understand the timeline. You can't put out false information. Remember, rumor versus fact. Is it a fact or is it a rumor? When you know it's a fact, because you know the level of response you're going to get at certain periods of times, you can further help your constituents out. And what's ready? Money. Where is it coming from? That's great. I want to open up shelters. I want to do all this. I want to help people. I want to bring food in. I want to do all these types of things. I want to establish crisis management centers. I want to establish communications. I want to establish health centers, crisis intervention centers, where I can have trained people come in and sit down with you and provide each and every one of you some sort of grief counseling. How do we do this? Where is this money coming from? Will I be reimbursed as the state agency? Will I be reimbursed? Number 3, the FEMA PA program. So you have public assistance individual assistance. They're two different entirely buckets. Individual assistance from FEMA is when we're giving it to you for a loss for your house. That's capped. There's a cap on that. So you have to understand what the cap is. You're not going to sit there and go, I lost $1 million home, I'd like $1 million back. They're going to say, thank you, have a nice day. You're not getting $1 million back. I believe the cap is $4,300 right now. Somewhere around that. So you have to understand what a cap is and where